get this opened up over here so I know what I'm looking at. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Captain Retro Show podcast with Captain Retro and EmceeMur, my esteemed colleague, EmceeMur. What's going on, buddy? How are you doing tonight?
Good evening. I'm fantastic.
Awesome. So we decided that, we have something to say and we have points to make about things, and why not do that in a podcast format on, live YouTube streaming with you. If you're looking to watch, we appreciate it, and we're ready to have you here with us. And let's see here. Okay, we got 4 people watching already. That's incredible. What's going on, everybody? How are y'all doing tonight? So, Mur, what's been going on in your world, man? We'll kind of get the, a little bit of small talk out of the way to begin with. What's your weekend been like? It's Memorial Day weekend here, and we are gearing up to have some food and stuff, hang out with some friends tomorrow. But other than that, I haven't been doing shit myself. Excuse my language. We'll try and keep the cussing to a minimum.
Well, we completed the ARMS Global Test Punch Friday night. That went better than expected. I was very impressed with what it was bringing to the table. It is a lot more than just a glorified Wii Sports boxing. And
that's just a demo you downloaded, or that's part of the package when you pre-ordered the game? They sent you a beta copy?
No, it's open for everybody. It's free play. They did the global test fire for Splatoon 2, and they're doing the global test punch for this. I actually need to check and see what other windows are open, but you can hop on your Switch after you check the times, and you could actually get some of that action as well. There was no wait to get in. It was streamlined. Brief tutorial. The next thing I knew, I was playing online and having a blast. So Nintendo's really on point with that.
Nintendo has been on point as of recently, in my eyes anyway, man. It's so much fun to be a Nintendo fanboy right now.
It is. It's a time where I feel like buying the software, and I haven't felt this with the previous systems for whatever reason, but having bought the Switch and buying new software for it as it's coming out, it feels like the mid-'80s again to me. Like this is a collection I want to complete, and just getting excited about stuff that I shouldn't even necessarily be excited about. Hey, it's a new Nintendo game. I'm going to buy it, by God. Sans the shovelware, but pretty much everything else I'm picking up, and I know you're doing the same.
I'm going crazy. And again, I sat on the first Switch that I bought for a while, without opening the box. It's actually still sitting up here. The launch day model is sitting up there sealed. So, and then I ended up picking up another one just because I saw it at the, at Walmart, and I was like, well, it's sitting here, I might as well get one. And picked up another one, and that one I have finally opened, and I'm in love with the little thing, man. It's pretty damn cool. That Puyo Puyo Tetris, I'm jonesing and freaking out over. I'm gonna get that on PS4 too, just so I can stream that live. I did, like I said, I picked up an Elgato. I've yet to plug the damn thing in and give it a test.
Yeah, having a lot of fun with the Switch. I don't know what it is.
My father's blowing me up over here on the text messages. It's all right. But yeah, I went crazy with that, and I went seriously. What I wanted to talk to you about was Ultimate Street Fighter 2. I'm a Mortal Kombat guy, and we've mentioned this before that you're more of a Street Fighter fan, and I'm a Mortal Kombat guy. At least I think.
No disrespect. I have a lot of respect for the Mortal Kombat franchise, but to me, and Street Fighter is also guilty of it. But the difficulty was formulated based on its interception of your control pad input. It counters everything you do. And we have to remember these programs were designed in their infancy to take your quarters. So that's what you did. But it'll make you madder than a damn wet hen at the same time. So Mortal Kombat always just enraged me. But Mortal Kombat also had so many more moves, it seemed like, per character that you just had to know. And if you didn't, you weren't a factor. I could do in Street Fighter what I could not do in Mortal Kombat, which is take down my opponents using creative systems and series of punch-kick combinations with a few moves peppered in there to make openings for the aforementioned. So I have a very different play style that's probably not what most people think of when they think of playing games in that genre. You think you'd want to know all the moves and spam the living crap out of them. But that's not what I do. I really enjoy the actual throwing down in Street Fighter, of peppering in some light kicks, a jab, coming over with the right, closing the distance for a grapple. There's a science to it there. And this very much feels correct. And there's always that, it's on a new system. What is this going to be like? No, it's dead nuts. It's exactly what it should be.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking incredible. And Sean Solo, I'm just going to read some comments here. He says, he's got to say, I didn't like the idea of the Switch at first, but then I watched a Barnacles Nerdgasm video where he gave one to his son, and I saw how small it was. They've sold out, and virtually every YouTuber I watch loves it, so I've changed my mind.
And I understand. I mean, I wasn't happy about buying a system at that point either, because same way I felt when the GameCube came out. Honestly, I was like, you know what? No, I'm not buying another one. Forget it. I don't need another system right now. It was not on the menu, but what's intriguing is its capabilities, and Nintendo in its uniqueness. If they're nothing else, they're unique. And you have to buy it because it's a Nintendo system. But I got to say that by the time I picked it up, I was on board, only because I'd talked myself into it and I'd hyped myself up, nothing else. It was just, I was very excited to own a new Nintendo system.
Exactly.
Now.
Exactly.
And know that the fan service is coming with all the games, the way they do things. They didn't do anything wrong with the Wii U. It was another one of those like, it just can't take off because we only want Mario, Zelda, Mega Man, Mario, Zelda, and everything else just kind of it falls off the grid. But we've already got some major stuff out for the Switch now, and there's so much more to come. And the sky's the limit because of the capabilities of this thing. Yeah. I think I played my 3DS more than I played either of the Wii systems, in my life. So the portability, it's very attractive. And the fact that I'm going to have a Skyrim later on at some point that I can take with me, done. You had me at Skyrim.
Yeah. I mean, again, if Sega were to come out tomorrow and announce we got a new Sega console coming out, I'd be just as hyped for a new Sega console. Don't get me wrong. But
if not more, I would, because me, I'm a Sega guy.
Much more of a Sega guy than I am. I'm more of a Master System guy than a Genesis guy. I do like the Master. It's because I had one as a kid, and I actually got to play it. So,
Master System is my sweet spot. I mean, didn't have a whole lot growing up, and didn't really expect to have a game system. And when I got the Master System, I mean, it was just maybe that's why. Maybe that's part of it. But to me, the Master System did everything it did just that much better than Nintendo. They just didn't have the third-party support. They didn't have 800 freaking titles. But they were neck and neck with similar products. And to me, Sega pulled just that much further ahead in the quality it delivered, but no one cared.
Yeah. I mean, with the exception of their cover art quality.
With the exception, and even that I'm okay with, because when it's just the feeling that it gives me when I see it.
It's a nostalgic thing to look at it and see, what it is.
But I can't defend it. It's a grid with an ugly cartoon.
Yeah,
but
again, there are some good ones. There are some good ones.
But you stack the products side by side. Outrun, Rad Racer. I'll tell you who wins that every day. Shinobi, Ninja Gaiden. I'll tell you who wins that one every day. 3D World Runner, Space Harrier. I'll tell you who wins that one every day. And I could go on. There were things that Sega just flat out did better. Duck Hunt, Safari Hunt. I don't care who copied who or what. It's just who made the better product, who put more time in it. Because there was a lot of stuff that came out on the NES that was, quite frankly, just not up to what it was truly capable of. Stuff that really barely rivaled the Atari 7800 in ability, because so much was getting pumped out. I mean, when it was good, of course, it was great. But
we've got Roaming Dan in the chat. We got Retro Nobody. We got Tim Burleson, Mr. Venegas. Everybody, what's up? How are y'all doing tonight? Again, I'm more of a Mortal Kombat guy. So again, Mortal Kombat X, when that last one came out, I've been all about that. And the last two Injustice games are basically Mortal Kombat with superheroes.
They are. And I like them very much. I think they're very cool.
I did pick up, in honor of the Ultimate Street Fighter 2, I mean, I couldn't let it sit there. Where did I put it? Damn it, where did I put it? A game I have not played. Honestly, I stopped playing Street Fighter about, like, Street Fighter Alpha on the Super Nintendo, I think. Whatever that, Alpha Plus or whatever that one's called.
EX plus Alpha, Alpha 3, they had a bunch of iterations of it. And that's about when I dropped off, too. I didn't do much 3, and I didn't do 4 and 5 at all. Not because I didn't want to. just because to me, and people can throw things at me or yell or whatever they want to do. Again, no disrespect, but the fighter genre to me has not aged well. I expect more out of a game than punch kick for $60. To me, games like that, I'd rather download for $10. I don't want $60 in a game that doesn't have any more depth than that, because we're at a time now that, you know, we demand more depth from a game. And in some cases you get it, in some cases you don't. Because when you get right down to it, if I want to play a game like that, I have them. They existed back then, and we have them all. I'm in no short supply of ways to play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Art of Fighting, freaking you name it. I mean, name any fighter you want to name, it's in here. So it's got to be pretty damn good before I'll drop 60 on it. But that's an important thing to note, too, is the price point that they've set for this. This is a $39 game, Ultra Street Fighter 2, so it knows what it is. You hear me use that phrase a lot, and that's important to me. For $40, I think you're getting your money's worth.
The new graphics look great, and the old graphics look great. I played it in both styles, and
yeah,
I prefer the old stuff just because my eyes eat it up easier. But the new stuff is eye candy and beautiful, and the animations are great. And again, this
doesn't change the play at all. It still feels correct, so you can enjoy it without thinking you're playing a new game. That's very important.
And again, I consider the Street Fighter the simpler of the two. It's, you know, there's normally two moves you've got and 3 buttons for attack, you know what I mean? And then push back for blacks or for block. So it's you definitely Mortal Kombat is definitely more in depth in the comboing and systems, but there are things you can do in Street Fighter 2 when you're juggling people and racking up the combo hits that is just it's unbelievable what some people can do in this game.
I do a lot of technique for distance closing and takedowns. You know, there is an art to it. Mortal Kombat definitely boasted more moves per character. The fatalities, babalities, animalities, you had to know all that stuff, or you just
make it fun. Right. To make
There's no point in putting your quarter down for next game. That was a waste of a quarter. You weren't going to last.
Right. So again, I'm getting back into Street Fighter. I picked up Street Fighter 5 on the P4, and I also picked up Ultimate Street Fighter 4, I believe, or whatever it is, on the PS3. With like every character downloadable on it too. So I picked that up. And again, it's been a long time since I played Street Fighters, but I'm going to try and get back into them. I've always liked, you know, Ryu and Ken. Those were always cool guys. I always liked playing them as a kid. It just wasn't as much more. My brother and I played more Mortal Kombat is basically what it boils down to. Who I got to play that game with a lot was my brother, and he'd rather play Mortal Kombat than Street Fighter. So, anyway, all right. Well, I'm super proud of Nintendo and what they're doing. I can't wait for new old games to come out again. I haven't even played the Bomberman R. I never really was that big of a Bomberman guy, but I went ahead and picked it.
I wasn't either, but it is fun. It's something different.
I'm loving the Binding of Isaac. I dig that. I know it was a downloadable game or whatever beforehand, but I like that dungeon crawler aspect and the whole permadeath shit that you get through all 6 levels or you don't. And, old school games.
And it's fan service. You got a Zelda manual with it. I mean,
wow, that thing is very cool.
You can't make this stuff up. So it's a great time to be a Switch owner. And again, don't scoff at ARMS. I was wrong to look at ARMS the way I was looking at it. A lot of people are of the mentality that should have been a pack-in game. It's got more depth than a pack-in game, and it was very fun online, and it handles like a dream. This is the first time I've actually held the Joy-Cons that way and felt what they were capable of as far as their dynamics. Only Nintendo, man. No one else is going to deliver like that in that department. So you've got
and peripherals are their jam. You've
got these characters with elemental themes to them with different damage aspects. You've got the moves themselves. You've got the shop where you can buy and customize. This is going to be a neat game to play online. Good time to be a Switch owner.
Yeah, good time to be a Switch owner. Good time to be a Nintendo fan. Come on with the Metroid. I'm ready for the Metroid. I'm ready for a new Ninja Gaiden on there, like a side-scrolling 2D.
It's all coming. I mean, we have to expect.
Project Doom. I want everything. I want games.
A new Vice Project Doom would.
Damn, a new Vice Project Doom would be so awesome.
Just bring it.
A new Metal Warriors. Just all kind of stuff, dude. Like, just bring it, and give it to me. A new Turrican. There's a PAL Turrican. Did you know that? There's a Super, or is it Mega Turrican or Super Turrican on PAL NES? I
did not know that. I've got both Turricans. I've got Mega and regular. I love me some Turrican. Bought that brand new when it came out on Genesis. And It was great. I mean, it really takes me back to that time. It's one of those games for me.
John Riggs is in the chat. What's up, buddy? You know there's a new Metroid coming. There's got to be a new Metroid coming.
Oh, yeah. Everything's eventual with Nintendo. They know what it is that we want. They know why they're still viable today. And what's amazing to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people, is that they're pulling ahead finally. I mean, and there's numbers to corroborate that Xbox is now number 3. I mean, because people aren't lining up and fighting over Xbox Ones, but you got this Switch thing, man. Maybe they know what they're doing with this crazy wonkonomics and this nutty marketing of theirs. You know, I'm not going to say I fell prey to it, because I would have bought it no matter what, because I got to have it. But it's working. I mean, you know it is. You see the demand of what it's created, and
yeah, man, it's crazy. I went at Walmart tonight. There was not a Switch in stock, and nothing but the docks were on hand, and no controllers.
I need one of those. I want one for the living room, because that's great. I can put it in any room. I can put it over the
toilet. The docks, which they're kind of expensive. They could maybe bring the price of the dock down. It's $90 or some shit for a dock.
Yeah.
But like,
Jesus.
I mean, come on with it. Just make a $50 dock. You know what I mean? Give me a $50 dock so I can stick it in any room, and that'd be better. But again, the prices are going to come down. You're going to find them used. You know how we are.
We'll trade in enough disc-only diarrhea until we can get one.
And again, I am doing my best not to cuss. I cuss like a sailor. I'm sorry. It's part of my upbringing. You should hear my mother. Captain, did you get a job at Media Glitch yet? No, I did not. I was really just kind of messing with Joel. I have offered him to do some music work on his movie, the next movie he's got working on. Again, he's not necessarily in charge of picking who does the music. That's more of a producer's decision, and the team putting the movie together, he just directs stuff. But be on the lookout for my first feature-length horror film that's coming out. I'm not sure when, but sometime this year. It's called Tell Me Your Name. It's a horror movie about a little girl that gets possessed by a demon, and it's actually really good. I got to go see a private screening of it the Monday before Retropalooza. And it was impressive to watch my music on a giant movie on a big screen in a room with great speakers, and my butt was rumbling in the seat because all the bass we put into it, and it was awesome. So Tell Me Your Name is the name of the movie. Anyway, back to the games. Enough self-promotion. The next question on my list of stuff to talk about with my buddy Mur is, how old does something have to be considered retro? 10 years? Is that the cutoff? 15? I don't even know anymore.
I think it's. I mean, there is a number as far as the retail.
Retro now.
And I don't want to be the one to. I don't want to say that that's okay. That's what has the say. Because for people, it's just whatever pulls that trigger in you, whatever gives you that nostalgia, like it or not. I mean, God, the PlayStation, stuff like that. It's a few decades old now, and it's hard to even fathom, but. Yeah, I mean, it's different for everybody. I mean, retro for me has got to be a cartridge, but it doesn't for a lot of people.
For me, it's got to be a cartridge too. Even the GameCube, I'm like, that's not retro.
It just isn't, but it is to a lot of folks. I mean, there's so many people that are adults now that are, oh, my first system was an N64. I mean, God, I was 17 years old when I bought an N64.
Yeah, I was in college.
It still feels kind of retro to me because that was a long time ago. Don't remind me. But, and it's still
I feel like I'm 19 most days. And then I look in the mirror and I'm like, nope, you're 38, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and watching the kids grow up is a constant reminder for me. But the systems and the games, they really date me too. And I just think, God almighty. I mean, we were playing that in 94, 95. Is that game really that old? And man, it is. And it's mind-blowing. It
is mind-blowing. So, I mean, technically, if you didn't play something, anything like something from last year can be retro to you because it's no longer.
I mean, retro is whatever pulls the trigger in you that makes you feel the way you felt the first time you enjoyed the product, if it's been long enough for you to have that feeling, because it has to have time to create.
I like that.
I'm not nostalgic for anything I did yesterday. It's just so there's not a right answer to that. I think it's different for everybody as far as you have to have a break from it for so long that you finally see, man, you remember that. God, I got to get that again
let's get a hold of that again. Yeah.
Yeah, let me get me some of that again. Luckily for us, we never got rid of anything, but for most people.
Sean Solo, I'm glad you found this channel. APOC, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Shad Juice is in the chat. Give me a new Call of Duty, he says. It's been too long.
Well, that's going to be an interesting one this year. I mean,
there's going to be a Call of Duty on the Switch. You think they're going to get one?
Oh, no, I don't think they'll do that.
A Switch of Duty?
I mean, they certainly have what they need to make a neat one, but I'm more or less just speculating about this back to World War II. You know, are they a lot of people are really stoked for it, and I'm not stoked for it, but I'm not one of these people that was bashing Call of Duty up to this point. I don't really see anything wrong with anything they've been doing, and I'm not the one that complains about it every year. So,
right.
You know, to me, it's just another Call of Duty. I don't think I'm as excited as everybody else is about World War II. I think it'll be fine. It'll be a decent product, but it wasn't a move they absolutely had to make. Everyone acts like, oh, they got to do this year. It's the end of the franchise. No, it's not. You're going to buy it. You buy it every year. You're going to be the first one in line to buy it. You're going to pre-order. You're going to get that. You're going to get the posters. You're going to buy it. You're going to buy it. Your friend's going to buy it. You're going to get your friend's house. You're going to play at your friend's house. You love the game. You're always going to buy it.
Without those Maddens and those Call of Duties, we wouldn't get a plethora of the other games that we get to play because those companies keep the industry chugging along money.
Well, it's an annual thing, like the 4th of July or your birthday. That's the day that Call of Duty comes out, and it's like it's an event. I mean, it's
right, but I mean those franchises are so big that people buy consoles just to play that game. You know,
sure,
I mean? That's a selling point to certain people. Like, well, I got to get that new PS4 because that new Call of Duty is coming out, and like, I didn't say that. I hadn't said that in years until Zelda came out on the Switch. I was like, ooh, and I haven't even played it on the Switch yet.
And I admit I was upset about, you know, like, God, now I'm almost forced to buy this system. But I lightened up as I went. And that might be because I traded in so much stuff I didn't pay for any of it. But knowing that at that point we had a new Nintendo system with a new Zelda, at that point it was like, you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad.
And, you know, I know the Wii came out with Twilight Princess, wasn't it? Twilight Princess that the Wii launched with, but still that doesn't count to me. That game was built again for the GameCube, and they did not release it intentionally on the Wii U so they could have it come out at the same time. So technically it's a Switch game. It's also ported to the Wii U. That's how I look at it. Now I know it's backwards in real life, but damn it, that's how I want to see it. So I'll justify my day one purchase with Zelda. Okay, topic number 3. GameStop insanity. What's going on at GameStop?
Let me tell you what's going on at GameStop. And starting next week, I think there's going to be promos starting on ESO for Morrowind, and then, you know, a host of other new releases. But 50% extra credit on trades. You know me, I'm not one of the people on here that's in the culture of bashing GameStop. GameStop's your best friend, because they don't discriminate about your condition of the game, whether it's box, whether it's, now they should, but they don't. Whether it's box, whether it has a manual, they don't care. And they're giving you 50% extra. In a lot of cases, they're literally giving you eBay market value on stuff base if you just look. If they're not, it's because the market's already oversaturated with said title, or they just don't retail it, you know, for very much. But in most cases, that is a great place to dump off anything that you have that's really not eBay worthy. And a lot of stuff ends up not being, or it's worth picking up because of what they value it at. So if you play your cards right, if you work the $5 trade-in coupons that they give you at the counter, and you work the 50% bonuses towards games you're most likely getting anyway, you're not going to pay for anything for these people. I love shopping with anybody if it's free.
Yeah, I mean, I bought a stack of DS games, a couple decent things floating around. There was an Ace Attorney, or was that Phoenix Wright? Ace Attorney, and a couple other things in there. Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Brothers on the DS goes for $20 trade-in credit.
Woo.
Like that alone, I was like, okay, that's what I'd get for that game on eBay, or, you know, $20 is about what I'm going to get. So when they're doing 50% trade-in credit, you go up there and you're making a killing. I spent $20 on a bag of like 15 DS games, and it turned into $117 in trade-in credit the other day. And I picked up the Friday the 13th. I got a $50 card so I could get Friday the 13th downloaded, and I got $10 left on that thing because it was only a $40 game. And I picked up the other 2 games I was talking about, the Street Fighter 4 and Aliens versus Predator. Here they are, Aliens versus Predator on the 360 that I've never actually sat down and played this either, but it was, you know, basically free at that point. Like, okay, I'll take that. Let me check it out. And yeah, if you know how to work the system at GameStop, go in there and work the system like crazy.
You will find yourself getting games that maybe you weren't even going to get just because of that bonus, because you end up not paying for them anyway, and then you get what you were after with the overage. And it stacks. You know, you stay a pro member, you add the 10% to whatever promo they're doing. So in some cases, you're getting as much as 60% extra on a value that's already overvalued because they're fixing their image, and they did this a few years back, you know, bumping up the trade credit overall. They also, you know, on their end, raised some prices on retail and pre-owned, but I ain't talking about pre-owned. I'm talking about buying brand new games.
Right.
Well, you got to make sure that they don't do to you what they hope they're going to do to you, and you do to them what they don't realize they're doing to you. And it's all straight up.
You're doing it to themselves. It's not anything you're going out of your way to do.
They're paying that for it here. You know, it's not extreme couponing. It's not a hustle. It's none of that. It's like, hey, I'll give you $20 for that $2 piece of crap. Thanks. And you know what? Here's a bucket of them, because I've got a bucket of them, man. I didn't pay for any of this gen systems. I didn't pay for the PS4, didn't pay for the Xbox One, and I did not pay for the Switch.
Right.
I think I paid $30 for my Switch net. I did put a little on it, but it's because there was so much, man, with the new Zelda box set and all that. Like, Jesus, I can't get enough trades for all the stuff that's coming out, but just about.
And that's, I've got the damn, like I said, for Zelda, I've got 2 copies on the Switch of Zelda, of Breath of the Wild. I've got a single, just the game. Then I've got the collector's edition up there that I haven't opened either, and I'm not going to. I've never been a sealed collector in my life until now. Like that's it. Those are staying sealed.
I understand.
I'll find a used one here in a couple weeks, and I'll pick it up, and then I'll just have one to play, and that'll be the used one. But I fucking love, dude. I have feelings that this Breath of the Wild game not only has reinvigorated the love for Nintendo throughout the world.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it.
Mario hits at Christmas, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong, dude. And
yeah, like DK.
Thing's gonna get sold like the Wii did. It's already outselling the Wii, and like that's impossible to do. And I think they finally marketed it right, and they got behind it at the right time to push it. And maybe they could have waited another 4 months to, bring it out at November, bring it out all at Christmas, and have Mario ready to go. But that's neither here nor there. That's apples and oranges as a marketing strategy to release something. They could still be bleeding the Wii U to death, though. I don't know why they had to kill that. Horrible marketing in the first place on that thing. I didn't realize it was a machine that was separate than the Wii until like a year and a half ago, and now I've got like 4 of them. Yeah. I fucking love it too. So
that's it. Yeah, I've been meaning, and I'm late with this, but to do a Wii collection and Wii U collection video, because my stuff is not typical. There's really some great gems on those systems that got overlooked. The Wii more than any of them, because the Wii was so inundated with shovelware. But there were some great JRPGs, a lot of great sleeper hits on there too that just you may not even know were out there.
Do you think this is a question from kind of a question? Smash JT writes, "I wish they'd kill the 3DS. To be honest, do you think that's going to happen? Do you think the Switch?"
Oh no! I mean, I bet you stop any one person in Japan, they got a 3DS on them. I love my 3DS. I've got a wall of 3DS JRPGs. I role play myself to death on the 3DS, and when we go on vacation every year, they're riding rides at Disney World. I'm playing my 3DS. I'm street passing people from all over the world. I love that damn thing, man. And that's another system that there's plenty of crap games for it, just like the Wii, but some of the best role playing comes to that.
They like to let that shovelware come in, which is silly because didn't they have that? That's what the seal of approval was all about in the 80s. Is like, let's not let shovelware take over our world and ruin our gaming industry again.
Well, what's silly is it's not selling. The people that play the 3DS and that carry it around like I do, they're the ones that play the first party stuff and are usually pretty heavy into role playing. Your Vita users too. The ones that are putting 200 hours in a game and they need to take it with them. You don't need to take some stupid third-party platforming turd with you. Screw that. You're not going to spend more than a few days on that anyway. But I'm looking at the wall right now. The big box games with collector's items art books, stickers, all the stuff that comes. I'll buy every single one of them, and I'm 8 or 9 deep in them right now. The Etrian Odyssey series, Bravely Default, Legend of Legacy was off the hook, and I could go on. So, a lot of people, I think, are frustrated with the amount of DS systems that came out because, I mean, they make a new one every 5 minutes, and I completely hear you on that. In fact, I haven't bought the latest one just because I don't need the 3 other buttons. Don't need it. But it's a cool unit, and I think that they've leaned on that so long. I don't think, no matter how successful the Switch is, that it's going to create the ability for them to lean off 3DS. I don't think they want to. I think that's always been their heavy hitter.
I wouldn't say they were going to. That's too much. The Game Boy has been too much of a moneymaker in general form. So,
yeah.
Let's see here. We got some other people watching. Again, Smash is in the room. Tim Burleson, what's up? Roman Dan, how you doing, buddy? Any other questions going on in there? Riggs did say if they do a new Metroid, you know it's going to be Federation Forces 2. That sucks if that's the case. But
yeah, I won't be.
We've been asked, are they going to make? Do we think they're going to make resurrect the Mega Man series? I would love to see new Mega Man games. I don't. Again, I was talking about this the other night on a different stream. I want to make a company that puts out new old games.
Yeah.
Like, on cartridges for the Nintendo and for the Super Nintendo and for the Genesis, 8 and 16-bit games. Why isn't there a company that still makes 8 and 16-bit franchises?
And if you look, the whole indie market is made up of that stuff. The whole indie market is thriving off making stuff that looks like that. Right. They don't have the licensing to make it. So here's, I mean, you hear the Metroidvania term get thrown around. People are trying to make games that were like the ones we played back then because that's what you want.
That's the fun. The most fun is in those games. Say what you want, but there's a reason side-scrolling platformers still exist. It's a fucking proven genre,
Yeah.
And it's honestly probably my favorite type of game to play is a side-scrolling platformer. That's just me.
Well, I am just about out of time for tonight. Did we have any other points we needed to address?
We had one more question, but we can save it for the next time. It's about the modern consoles things, and if we had them as kids, and that'd be a good thing to start the next discussion off with next time we get together is how crazy life would be if we had a PS4 at 13 years old. So
yeah,
we'll talk about that later. We're only going to do a 30-minute little starter podcast here, everybody. We do so much appreciate y'all checking out what we're doing and tuning in with us. Murray, you got anything coming up this week on your channel?
No releases this week, so Tuesday night stream is just going to be a wild card. I have just uploaded some gameplay from Ultra Street Fighter 2, so check that out. And then I think the next thing that we've got on the calendar, I think we've got Claydon Returns. This is Sengoku on the 6th for the PS4. That's going to be exciting.
Say that whole thing again.
I think Claydon, I think is how they pronounce it, returns. This is an old PSP series, I think. This is Sengoku.
Do you have a Vita? I don't have a Vita.
No, this is going to be on PS4, but some of those games are on the PSP back in the day. So this is a revitalized attempt at bringing this franchise back out. And I'm new to it, but it's pixelated and it's dungeon crawly and it's procedural generated and
right up your alley.
That's, yeah, right on up it.
Fluffy Gamer's in the house. What's up, buddy? Like I said, we're about to get out of here. Murr's got some stuff to do. He's got them babies to take care of, or a baby to take care of, and him and his kid, too. I meant him. He's the baby he's got to take care of. He's also got a small child he's got to handle. But we will do this. We're going to shoot for like once a month. Me and Mur get together and talk. We, again, have been friends since, what, 6th grade?
Yep.
6th grade friends, and didn't really stay connected throughout beyond high school until about a year and a half ago. We started talking together again and met up because we both love video games and we both make our own YouTube show. And the world decided it was cool enough to shove us back together as friends again. And I couldn't be happier that I found my buddy.
It's an amazing thing.
It is.
Truly blessed.
Truly blessed to have such good friends in the world. And number 2, that they share the same love I do for retro madness. Awesome. All right. Well, you got anything else to say, man? I'm good. My look out for the Captain Retro show this Wednesday. There will be a new show, and then I got more 8-Bit Academy. We have not filmed the next episode, but we're supposed to do that, I believe, on Thursday this week coming up. We'll get like 5 episodes banged out, and then I'll be releasing a whole bunch of new 8-Bit Academies with Avery and me. So be ready for that. Anything else, Mur?
Signing off for now.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching the Captain and MC Mur. Have a great night. Captain!
Next